Is it I tried to fix it or I tried fixing it? And is it I regret to quit or I regret quitting? Do you ever wonder, do I need the gerund or the infinitive? Let's fix that today. You'll learn everything you need to correctly use gerunds and infinitives in English. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. Which sentence is correct? A, I tried to fix the printer, or B, I tried fixing the printer. What do you think? Did you say A? Did you say B? Well, both are correct, but the meaning changes. When you use try plus infinitive, I tried to fix, this means that you make an effort to do something. The technician tried to fix the printer. When you use try plus gerund, your verb in ing, this means you experiment to see what happens. Did you try restarting it? Did you try restarting it? So if I say this, I'm offering this as a suggestion to experiment with. I don't know if that will help. I just want to experiment. So you could say, I tried learning English with Jennifer, and I absolutely loved it, so I subscribed. Notice how here the gerund is the correct form because you're experimenting. I tried learning English with Jennifer, and your experiment worked out because you subscribed. So if that describes you, put that's right, put that's right in the comments. And don't worry about taking these notes. I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. Now, which one is correct? A, I regret to quit, or B, I regret quitting. What do you think? The correct answer is B, I regret quitting. There are certain situations like try where both can be used. Maybe it changes the meaning, maybe it doesn't. Those are exceptions. In most cases, one option is required, like in this case. Now, when you say, I regret quitting, it means you feel bad about something you did in the past. So you might say, I regret not spending a year traveling after I graduate. Okay, so regret is your regular verb, and the following verb, in this case, not spending, so spend, that's your verb in the gerund. And with regret, you might regret things that you didn't do, and that's why not is in front of the gerund. In question form, you might ask, do you regret? Now you need your gerund. Do you regret investing in crypto? Now, if you're thinking, Jennifer, I've seen regret plus infinitive. You're right, but it's only used for formal or polite bad news. It's most commonly used in a rejection letter, which is normally an email, not a handwritten letter, but it would say, we regret to inform you that your application has been rejected. Now, keep in mind, this is only used in this specific context. It would sound awkward, unnatural, incorrect to say, I regret to invest in crypto. That is not used. Which do you need? A, my room needs to clean. B, my room needs cleaning. You need B, the gerund. Need plus gerund, the noun, so in this case, the noun is my room. The noun becomes the subject receiving the action, not doing the action. So need plus gerund, this is the passive voice, right? Because the subject is receiving the action. So you could say the files need organizing. The files are receiving the action. You cannot say the files need to organize because the files are not doing the action. But you could say Do you already know what I'm going to say? You could say the files need to be organized. The files are receiving the action because what I just shared is the passive voice. So in this case, you do have the infinitive to be, and then organized functions as the adjective. It's in the ed form as the adjective. This structure is also used with the verb require. So you could say the report requires editing. The report is receiving the action. Which is correct? A, he managed to finish on time. B, he managed finishing on time. What do you think? The correct answer is A. So the sentence structure is to manage to do something. It's your regular sentence structure with the infinitive. Manage is your verb that you conjugate, and to do represents whatever action in the infinitive. And this means to successfully do something even if some difficulty or effort was involved. So if you say the team managed to finish the project early, they did the action, but difficulty was involved. It wasn't easy. Or you could say, despite the traffic, we managed to get to the airport on time. We did the action, we got to the airport, but it was difficult because of the traffic. Which is correct? A, despite to leave late, we managed to get there on time. B, despite leaving late, we managed to get there on time. The correct answer is B, despite leaving late. Despite is a preposition. And the rule is, you already know this, preposition plus gerund. So you must use the verb in ing. Despite being stuck in traffic, we got to the airport on time. Now you can also say, despite the traffic, we got to the airport on time. Because you can use despite plus gerund or a noun. Because you don't always want to talk about an action. You might just want to talk about a thing, the traffic, despite the traffic. And just to make sure we're on the same page, despite means without considering or not prevented by something negative. So despite the traffic, we weren't prevented by that. You will use this phrase in your job interviews, but which is the correct one? A, I have significant experience to manage projects. B, I have significant experience managing projects. Do you need the infinitive or the gerund? You need B, the gerund. So here the expression is to have experience. You can add a modifier such as to have significant experience, and then the action is in the gerund. So for example, she has, so have is your verb that you need to conjugate. She has 10 years of, that's the modifier, 10 years of experience. Now we need an action. Preparing English lessons. Oh, that describes me. Our company has extensive experience working with startups, so doing something. Extensive is a formal way of saying a lot of. Extensive and significant are used in job interviews or more formal situations. In a regular situation, you can use a lot of. For example, I don't have, you can make this negative. I don't have a lot of experience creating Excel tables, but I'm a fast learner. Which do you need? A, I miss to ride my bike to work. Or B, I miss riding my bike to work. You need B, miss plus gerund. And in this case, miss represents something you enjoyed doing in the past and feel sad you no longer do. So I used to ride my bike to work, but maybe I moved to a different area or I got a different job in a different location and now it's just not possible to ride my bike to work, but I miss it. Or you might say in winter, I really miss seeing the sun. And of course, you can use this in your personal life and you might say to a friend, I miss hanging out with you. You're always so busy with your new job. Which do you need? A, she failed to submit the report. B, she failed submitting the report. You need A, she failed to submit. So fail plus infinitive, which means not successful. He failed to pass the exam. He was not successful. He didn't pass the exam. The candidate failed to follow the instructions. They didn't do this action. The sales team failed to meet its targets. They didn't do the action. They were not successful. Which do you need? A, she tends to worry too much. Or B, she tends worrying too much. The correct answer is A. So our verb is to tend. But this is a regular sentence structure, and the regular sentence structure is first verb conjugated, second verb infinitive. To tend plus infinitive. Now, what does this mean? This means that you usually do something or you usually behave in that specific way. So you might say, it tends to be cloudy in the afternoon in spring. So you can use this with weather patterns, traffic patterns, or you can use this with people's activities and behaviors. She tends to come late to meetings. Maybe she doesn't do this every time, but it's a pattern. She usually does this. Is it A, I'd appreciate to hear your thoughts, or B, I'd appreciate hearing your thoughts? The correct answer is B. It's appreciate plus gerund. It's also very common to use the noun. I'd appreciate receiving your feedback, so that's an action, your verb in ing, the gerund. But you might just want to talk about the thing, the noun. I'd appreciate your feedback. Would you say, imagine to win the lottery? Or imagine winning the lottery? You would say B. It's imagine plus gerund. And this is a hypothetical situation. So I might ask you to imagine living in a quiet mountain village. And I would ask you this if you don't live in a quiet mountain village. Maybe you live in the center of Manhattan or Tokyo, and every day you hear the traffic. So I say, imagine living in a quiet mountain village. We commonly form sentences in the I can't imagine. I can't imagine waking up at 4 a.m. every day. So I would probably say this if my friend tells me she wakes up at 4 a.m. every day, or I have to wake up at 4 a.m. for a specific project or meeting, and I find it so difficult, I say, I can't imagine doing this every day. Is it A, do you mind to help me? Or B, do you mind helping me? It is B, because this is a gerund expression. You can use do you mind or would you mind helping me? So after that, you would use your gerund. Now to reply, you would say, I don't mind helping you. This is how you accept. I don't mind helping you. Or you can just use a different expression. If someone asks, do you mind helping me? You can reply back with a totally different expression and say, I'd be happy to help you. Because that sentence structure doesn't require the gerund because it's a different sentence structure. Now, it is possible, but rarely used in the positive because it means you are upset about the action. So if I ask you, do you mind helping me? And you reply back and say, Jennifer, I mind helping you. It means you're upset or inconvenienced by the request, by helping me. So that's why it is possible grammatically, but rarely used in the positive. Is it A, let's postpone to update the report until next week? Or B, let's postpone updating the report until next week? It's B, you need the gerund. And this is with postpone, delay, push back, or put off, which all have a similar meaning. All of these require the gerund. You might say we need to push back launching the website until the bugs are fixed. Now, back is a preposition, so you would use the gerund regardless. But with the same meaning, regular verb, you still use the gerund. Unfortunately, we had to delay going on vacation. Again, you can always use a noun, which to me, I would use and say, unfortunately, we had to delay our vacation. I would talk about the thing being delayed rather than the action. Is it A, we spent the whole day to admire the sculptures in the park? Or B, we spent the whole day admiring the sculptures in the park? It's B, because you spend time plus gerund. You spend time doing something. I spent the night scrolling on TikTok. We spent hours reviewing the documents before the presentation. A similar expression is don't waste time. So spend time, waste time, you still need the gerund. Don't waste time updating those files. Is it A, she couldn't help to laugh during the presentation? Or B, she couldn't help laughing during the presentation? The correct answer is B, because it's couldn't help plus gerund. And this means that you're unable to not do the action. He couldn't help thinking about the problem all night. He didn't want to per se, but he couldn't stop. Or she couldn't help smiling when her boss announced he was leaving the company. Don't confuse this with simply to help someone do something. So you need the base verb. I can help you file those reports. Can you help me clean the kitchen? The gerund expression, I couldn't help, is a different meaning, different sentence structure. Is it A, I resisted to smile when my coworker got in trouble? Or B, I resisted smiling when my coworker got in trouble? It's B. Couldn't help has the same meaning as couldn't resist. So you could say, I couldn't help smiling. I couldn't resist smiling when my coworker got in trouble. So this means you were unable to not smile. Even though you know that smiling when someone else gets in trouble is probably not the best thing to do. You can also use this positively and say, I resisted smiling when my coworker got in trouble. This means you wanted to smile, but you didn't. So you might say, I resisted eating the whole box of cookies. You wanted to, but you didn't. There's a similar expression, I resisted the temptation, but this is a regular expression. It uses the infinitive. I resisted the temptation to eat the whole box of cookies. So here it's to resist. That's the verb you conjugate. The temptation, you always need the, and then the infinitive. Is it A, she practiced to speak English? Or B, she practiced speaking English? Well, you may know that it's B. Hopefully you've said this many times. She practiced speaking English. This sales team practiced handling objections. Today we're practicing passing the ball. So practicing, of course, is your conjugated verb, is in the ing form because it's in the present continuous. Is the verb that follows, that's the gerund verb. In this case, passing is the gerund verb. Is it A, she kept to talk during the movie? Or B, she kept talking during the movie? It's be. So keep plus gerund. I can say to you, you have to keep practicing your English, right? You have to keep reviewing everything you learn, right? You have to keep learning new vocabulary, right? Of course you do. So put yes, 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 put yes, yes, yes in the comments if you agree. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.